Hi guys, today I decided I want to see what microphone will sound best on my old Realistic TRC-448. What we have is, let's start with the hand mic, seeing how I have them in my hand. I have two different styles of stock Realistic microphones, so we'll try each one of these. These are both dynamic mics, so we'll try those on there. Then I have a Realistic amplified microphone, has the volume on the side here. We're going to try that one. This is one of the ones that uses a 7-volt battery. So we're going to try that on the 448. I have a Cobra. It's one of the newer models, but it's still decent. It's a CA76. It's not the newest ones, the high gain ones that are cheap and flimsy. This one actually has some weight to it. It has a good cord on it, and it's wired for a Realistic. So we'll be trying that CA76 Cobra power mic on there. We also have a Cobra desk microphone. This is the kind that uses two AA batteries. This is the microphone that I have used on that radio on a regular basis. This one has been used the most with it. I get really good reports on this. We're going to hear for ourselves how this one sounds with me operating it. And if you saw my last video, I bought that Pierce Simpson Bengal radio, and it came with a Turner Plus 3. Well, this morning I wired this up to work with my Realistic, and this is the one that I'm hoping sounds the best, because this is the one that I want to see sitting on my desk. It's connected right now. I've already made a couple of contacts this morning using this mic, and I didn't ask for reports, but I was told that it was very loud and very clear. So we're going to see for ourselves. What I'm doing is I have a camera going in the house that is hooked up to my Washington. I have the RF gain turned all the way down on the Washington, and I'm going to transmit from here with each one of these microphones, and we'll hear how they sound in the house on that Washington. And then we'll figure out which mic is the loudest, cleanest, and best sounding to work with this old Realistic. Like I said, I'm rooting for the Turner Plus 3. That one's my favorite out of all of them. I'm hoping that either the Turner Plus 3 or the Cobra Dynamic Plus. I don't know the exact model number because the label is peeled off of this one. I think somebody held it like this a lot, and their finger just destroyed that label. Alright, let's get to it. Let's test out some of these mics and see which one sounds the best on this old Realistic. We're also going to shut that amplifier off because we're only broadcasting to 100 feet away, so we don't need to have a lot of power. Alright, while I tell you about it, I might as well be transmitting. We're going to start right off with the Turner Plus 3 desk microphone because it's already hooked up to the radio. So this is the Turner Plus 3 Classic microphone, and its volume is turned all the way up. It's all the way up on it. Alright, while I tell you about it, I might as well be transmitting. We're going to start right off with the Turner Plus 3 desk microphone because it's already hooked up to the radio. So this is the Turner Plus 3 Classic microphone, and its volume is turned all the way up. It's all the way up on it. Alright, that's the Turner. Let's get that one out of here. We'll set that aside real carefully because I really like that microphone. Alright, well, while I'm right here, I have these two right here, the stock mics. So let's try and untangle them first. And we'll plug these in. This is the stock handheld Realistic, just a little square microphone. It's not the typical Realistic. A lot of the newer radios had this. I believe this one came with a TRC-435, a little 40-channel AM radio. This is a stock microphone. This is the stock handheld Realistic, just a little square microphone. It's not the typical Realistic. A lot of the newer radios had this. one came with a TRC-435, a little 40-channel AM radio. This is a stock microphone. Alright, that's that one. We'll put that aside now. If any of my locals happen to be on the air and they're hearing this, they're gonna know I'm up to another video. Alright, this time it's the traditional Realistic stock microphone. This is just the run-of-the-mill Realistic. Came with so many radios. Has the little RS on the center there. Alright, this is the stock handheld Realistic mic. The everyday run-of-the-mill microphone that comes with almost every Realistic radio. Great microphones, and we're going to hear how this one sounds. Alright, this is the stock handheld Realistic mic. The everyday run-of-the-mill microphone that comes with almost every Realistic radio. Great microphones, and we're going to hear how this one sounds. So that's the end of that one. This is moving along pretty quick, isn't it? What else do we have? Let's go to the Realistic handheld power mic. This is a noise canceling with preamp. And like I told you earlier, it has the goofy 7-volt battery in it. These are good mics though. If the battery dies in it, you can take the battery out and it doubles as a stock mic. I don't think most power mics will do that, but this Realistic will. Again, we're going to have it turned all the way up. This is the handheld Realistic noise canceling with preamp, and the volume on it is turned all the way up. The handheld power mic, Realistic noise canceling with preamp. This is the handheld Realistic noise canceling with preamp, and the volume on it is turned all the way up. The handheld power mic, Realistic noise canceling with preamp. Alright, now, what do we have left? We have, are you ready? We have the Cobra handheld power mic. I have a feeling this one's going to be pretty loud. Most of the Cobra hand power mics that I've had in the past have been pretty loud microphones. The desk mics, too. We'll hear that one, too. That'll be loud. Come on, get in there. This is the Cobra handheld power mic. It's a CA76. We have it connected to this old Realistic 448, and we're checking to see the quality, volume, and just overall sound quality of this old Cobra handheld power mic. This is the Cobra handheld power mic. It's a CA76. We have it connected to this old Realistic 448, and we're checking to see the quality, volume, and just overall sound quality of this old Cobra handheld power mic. Okay, just one more left, and then we'll get to reviewing. Actually, I'll probably cut this up some, and for each microphone that I test, I will give you the recording of how that microphone sounds. Excuse me. This is the Cobra Dynamic Plus. This is an amplified base station microphone, typically seen with like a Cobra 2000. These came from the factory with a Cobra 2000. The volume is turned all the way up. No holding back on these. This radio is all stock. No mods have ever been done to it, so it can handle all of these microphones turned way up. I'm watching that needle swing on the radio, and in between words it goes right down to 0, so I know it's not throwing out a lot of background noise. Alright, this is the Cobra Dynamic Plus amplified base station microphone. This is the Cobra Dynamic Plus. This is an amplified base station microphone, typically seen with like a Cobra 2000. These came from the factory with a Cobra 2000. The volume is turned all the way up. No holding back on these. This radio is all stock. No mods have ever been done
can handle all of these microphones turned way up. I'm watching that needle swing on the radio, and in between words it goes right down to 0, so I know it's not throwing out a lot of background noise. Alright, this is the Cobra Dynamic Plus amplified base station microphone.
Okay, that's it. We tested them all. Now I'm going to get the recordings and we'll see how each one sounded over the air. Alright, let's go get that recording. That does look good there though. That Cobra Dynamic Plus. It looks good with that radio. But so does the Plus 3. Let me put them side by side so I can see them side by side. Alright, let's talk about these mics first. The two stock mics, I don't know if you heard it or not, but there was a buzzing coming in pretty loudly when using both of the stock mics. And also the Cobra, the CA76, the handheld power mic, there was also a buzzing noise that came in with that one. I'm not sure what that's all about, but none of these really sounded that great on it anyway, so these three have all been ruled out. Let's set those aside because they can just go back in the collection. I don't need those on here. The Realistic handheld power mic did pretty good. It wasn't super loud, but it was clean and clear. This is a good microphone. This one is actually the one that I use in my car. I pulled it out of the car just to do this little test to see how it would sound on the radio. So that one sounded pretty good. It sounds good on my car radio too. You guys, I'm sure, have seen my videos. You've seen me use the car radio. That's the mic I use in the car. The Cobra desk mic, we'll say this is the second best sounding mic. There was no weird noises in with it. It was loud. It was clear. But it kind of makes me feel like there was a piece of cardboard or something on the microphone. It wasn't as clear as it should be. It did work well. It works very well on this radio. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of good reports. This is the mic that I use on this radio most of the time. But I recently acquired the Turner. And the Turner, I think, had the most natural sound. It was the loudest. And it was also swinging the needle on the Washington the most. On the 30 dB mark on that meter, this microphone kept slapping the 0 on it. So it was the only one that was reaching up that high, and it's just sounded the best. The only thing I don't like about this one is when I unkey, you hear the button. The button makes some noises when I unkey. It's like a click Roger beep. I have a click sign off when using this mic. But this is the mic that I'm going to stay using for now. It's going to stay right on this radio. And even with the volume on it turned all the way up, it still sounded great on this radio. So, right from the start, I was hoping that the Turner would win. And sure enough, it did. So this is the best sounding microphone that I can put on that radio. I really love using that radio. The receive is phenomenal on that thing. It's the old TRC-448. Transmit, it's not my strongest when it comes to transmit, but the receive is so good. The meter is fantastic on it. It is my choice of radios. I switch out now and then and put my other Washington out here. My Grant was out here right up until this morning. When I put this back on the desk, because I wired this up to work with that Realistic. The Realistic, it's an old timer, so you can unplug the microphone and it still receives. So I didn't have to do any of the crazy modifications inside of this microphone because that radio is meant for an old school mic like this. If you wire this style mic up to, say, my Washington, oh, that's being tough to go in there. Did it go in all the way? It did. It's working. You have to put the extra switch in order for it to work with the newer radios because they need the mic to complete the receive circuit. But this old radio does not need the mic to complete the receive circuit. So that old microphone will work just fine there. And I think it looks fantastic sitting next to that radio. Alright guys, I guess that's it. I guess that's the end of the test. This one will go back in the house. I'm probably going to rewire this to work with my other Washington, because this one will work with that Washington. When I bought this, it was already wired for the Realistic, and I've just been using it on the Realistic. But I could use this more on my other base station in the house, my secondary system in the house. My main Washington has the same kind of mic as this, but it's the Realistic that has the square head on it. The guts are the same. They're the same thing inside. And it sounds great on the Washington, so I know this one will sound great on my other Washington that's connected to my dipole antenna. Alright guys, that's it for this time. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.